Welcome, everyone. I was thinking that we'll have 5 people. It's great to see this audience. Thank you. Welcome to this talk, Rethinking Data Catalog, the Promises and Pitfalls. Before I move ahead with the next slide, quick poll. Who here has worked on data catalogs? Can I see show of hands? Recent? Fantastic. Raise your hand if you feel that you're happy with how your data catalog is being used. Good. So you're in the right talk. We'll uncover some other things in this talk. So my name is Vishal. I'm a data consultant. I'm with ThoughtWorks. I have more than 18 years of experience in designing and implementing data platforms. I have extensive experience in working with data catalog. I'm co-organizer of Data Engineering Melbourne Meetup. And with me, I have Harmeet.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our talk. So as Simon already mentioned, I am a data engineering manager at Xero, but I have recently joined. It's my third week. But before that, I was at ThoughtWorks, worked with a lot of wonderful folks like Vishal for a long period of time. I have been building softwares, data platforms, data products, ML platforms from around 20 years. Have seen a lot of data catalogs fail. And along with Vishal, I co-organize Data Engineering Melbourne Meetup. So this is our agenda today. We're going to briefly talk about what is a data catalog, why are these data catalogs failing, what is the reason? Do we have any suggestions or theory about making it successful? We'll share some of our thoughts. And then we'll also talk about measuring success of data catalogs. And all this through a story to make it more engaging. Let's hope so. And then finally, wrap it up with takeaways. So let's start with what is a data catalog. So there are numerous definitions out there, but if we cut the noise, it's an organized inventory of data in your organization. Now, if you imagine something like a Google web page where you put the name of your data asset, data product, or anything that you want to call, you get all the information in a way that you can confidently plug into that data and start using it. So all in all, it is bridging the gap between technical and business realms. So it's a hub for discovering the data, understanding the data, and using the data. So Vishal, tell us, what are the promises of modern data catalog?
Great question, Harmeet. In order to help businesses with delivering results, ensuring that they get faster outcome from data-driven decisions, identifying new opportunities, or even gaining a competitive advantage, the modern data catalogs, they promise to be a magical wand. And they provide features like data discovery, data governance, lineage, metadata management, so that businesses could get right data at right time. Now, we saw the promise. The question is, are the data catalogs keeping up to their promise? At least I have not seen that in my experience. And in your introduction, Harmeet, you said that you have seen data catalogs fail. Let's look at some of the stats. So 80% of people think that a data catalog is not used as expected in organizations. And 82% of people think that user adoption is a struggle for data catalog. Now, Harmeet, looking at these stats and our questions, there's something wrong. Why catalogs are not able to keep up to the promise?
Yep, absolutely. So it's a great question, Vishal, and it's something is clearly wrong somewhere, because data catalogs, all the modern data catalogs today have wonderful features and they're really, really powerful. But most of the time, these tools, modern data catalog tools, become a shiny tool in the organization. So the question is, why is it not working? So Vishal and I will share a story of an organization. We'll introduce some protagonists in the world of data and try to share the pitfalls of data catalog. So the organization is Hogwarts Financials. So we have Hogwarts Financial, which has all the modern data tech stack. Name it, Snowflake, Databricks, Tableau, Power BI, DBT, Monte Carlo, they have everything, but they are still struggling to make the organization data enabled. Sounds familiar? Yeah? So the head of data and IT, Mr. Dumbledore, embarks on a journey and invests into data catalog. Now, the main reason he decides to invest in the data catalog is that they have a very cool feature where they can plug in all the operational analytical applications into that data catalog and surface the metadata to the entire organization. And that's how they think that the organization will become data enabled. And along with this, the added advantage is that they think it will solve some of the compliance headaches as well. So added bonus, isn't it? But one thing in all this is, they forget is, the data is nothing without its context. So who is going to add that business context? Are they even on board? Do they even have time to add the context? Do we even have a buy-in from them that they will add the context? So that's the first pitfall, a utopia objective without a clear understanding of how all this magic will come together and solve the problems. Anyways, we mark on that progress on the journey. We introduce the next character, our data platform engineer, Ms. Hermione. Now, the word data catalog has a data word prefixed in it. So who gets the work to integrate all the systems and applications? It's the data platform team, Ms. Hermione's team. And they are very happy integrating all the systems applications into the data catalog. And they're super happy, patting on their backs, counting number of applications they have integrated in their own happiness mode in every showcase. But the question here is, the data engineers of that team itself, are they even using that data catalog? So before I answer that question, let's think about what is it actually they need for their work. They would need a technical schema, which they can easily get from the tools that they already have. Hive, schema registry, glue, right? We call them technical catalogs. So they get that information from technical catalog. Now, the other information they maybe needing is versioning, freshness, relationships, and they may be getting that already from tools like DBT, Flyway, Monte Carlo, or some sort of ER relationship diagram that they may have. Vishal and I are calling them accidental catalogs. So they have their technical catalogs, they have their accidental catalogs to do their work. Now, couple of things that they struggle with is the business context, and the second thing is about when, why, and how the operational teams, the data producers, are going to make changes in the schema and make their lives hell. Now, both these information is not there in the data catalog, so they don't use it. So here comes a team which is really happy integrating everything, but data engineers of their own team are not using it. That's the next pitfall.
So data engineers are not relying on catalog. Interesting. Next character in our story is Mr. Ron. Now, he is application developer from operation team, and they are the data producers. He does not have any incentive to update the data catalog. They have information about operational data, but analytical use cases or enabling analytical use cases is not part of their role, and they don't care about it. For their dev workflow, they have technical catalogs, like they might be using databases, Postgres, SQL servers, whatever, and it has a catalog on its own, so they don't need it. On top of that, they might be using something like a system catalog, like Backstage, where they could integrate with other teams by maintaining the information about the systems on those system catalogs. So pitfall is that they don't need a catalog, and it's not their problem. And this disconnect, it grows with next character in our story, Ms. Jenny. She's the data analyst. She has no incentive to contribute to the data catalog as it is not part of the dev workflow for Ms. Jenny. They also have other systems like data. They are semi-technical users, so they have access to the data platform. They already have the business context, so they refrain from using the data catalog. And overall, data catalog is not helping them increase the trust on the data. So the pitfall is that data catalog is basically giving them redundant information, and it's not helping them to gain trust on the data. So the question is, why should they use the data catalog? Now we have seen so many characters. Are there any more characters left in the story, Hamid?
Of course, a very important character, our business user, Mr. Gringotts, right? So data catalog is not part of their workflow at all. They neither contribute to it or not use it. The thing is, they have no incentive to contribute into the data catalog. They have some business context of their own world, but why would they go and update it for others? The only thing that they care about is the outcomes. And they have Miss Jeannie's team, our data analyst, to give them the dashboards, reports, or anything that they need, right? So why would they use it? So all in all, a system that neither generates data nor does analysis. Why would anyone care about learning it, contributing it, adding information, or using it? So if we bring in all the characters that we have discussed till now and all the pitfalls that we have discussed, data catalog doesn't fall in the space that they work in. So work happens somewhere else, and it is not helping them at all in doing their jobs. And above all, as you know, if you've seen, it's a disjointed workflow, which makes folks rarely use that tool. And they have no strong reason to use it, which makes data catalogs fail. So Vishal, do you think that are there any reasons even we should invest in the data catalog? Maybe we don't need data catalog at all.
Interesting thought, Hamid. Yeah, that makes me think that when we don't need a data catalog, let's look at some of the scenarios when you really don't need a data catalog. You don't need investment in data catalog. So if you have a limited data, single source, and simple analysis, or if in your organization everyone knows where your data is, everyone knows how to use the data, and there's no formal management of data required. Or other reason could be if there is minimal sharing of data across the teams, or if there are existing tools and processes which could aid the business processes like data discovery, then probably you don't need to invest in data catalog. So question back to you, Hamid. Do we really need to invest in data catalog? Can we get away with it?
Yeah. I think with all this, I mean, for the audience, Vishal and I are not saying that data catalogs are not needed. It surely has a lot of potential and can be a strong force in making data first-class citizen and enabling that data product thinking that we all talk about these days. But I think we need to change our approach on thinking about data catalogs and thinking about how it helps the user. Yeah. So first thing first, it should all start with, like in your organization, think about or discuss about what are the most important questions for running your business that you are struggling to answer. So prioritize those topmost questions, and you will see, there are a lot of such questions, like, what is the customer churn rate? What is our revenue? What was our sale today and from which sources? I see, like, working in different organizations, there's like still so much of confusion and sources of truth, and it's hard to answer those questions. So take those questions, prioritize the topmost one, take the topmost one. The next step is identify the persona, that is character or story, who is getting impacted most. Now, the next step is to identify their golden path. Now, what is a golden path? Golden path is something that key steps that user take to get the work or get the thing that they need. So let me give you an example here. You want to buy something from a web page, right? So your golden path would be finding the product, buying the product, and getting it delivered. Rest everything, beautiful images, feedback, recommendations, everything in secondary. So that golden path of the user should be easy and effortless. So I think that's what we need to think about, that our aim should be removing the hurdles in the golden path or of our persona, our key data users. So let's take an example here. Going back to our Hogwarts financials, let's take business here, Mr. Gringotts. Their golden path is to discover insights and make decisions. Now, Mr. Gringotts, our business user's golden path, is supported by the golden path of data analyst, which is discover data and create insights. That's the golden path of data analyst. Next, it is enabled by the data platform team, whose golden path is create the data platform and provide tools and trustworthy data. However, they need it to be supported by the operational team, the application developer, Mr. Ron's team, whose golden path is create operational applications which generate actually data and maintain and operate those applications. That's their golden path. Now, if we look at this in a linear view, that's how it looks like. It's the same picture, but in a linear view. Now, it's important to see what all these characters in a story have. For example, Mr. Gringotts, our business user, has the context. Data analysts have some fragmented business context and have their own ways to find the data. The data engineers and application engineers have their technical catalog, system catalog, and accidental catalogs to get their work done. But now on top of that, we should see what is it that they don't have, right? So Mr. Gringotts, the business user, struggles with the trustworthy and timely insights. The data analyst struggles with getting the full business context and trustworthy data. The data platform engineer, they struggle with, of course, business context and the operational context, in the sense when, why, and how the operational teams are going to change the data and make their lives hell. And the operational team, our Mr. Ron, they don't care. They don't even know how their data is being used. So that's the area, that are the hurdles in the path of in the golden path. So Vishal, can you tell us how we can bring data catalog to forefront of resolving these hurdles in the golden path of our users?
Yep, great question, Hamid. So to bring data catalog to forefront of workflow, the key is to actively use it as a collaboration tool and stop thinking of it as just metadata management tool. This collaboration can be done by shifting left, that is thinking about the analytical use cases first, rather than thinking about analytical use cases as byproduct of data generation. It all should start from use case identification, where business users like Mr. Gringotts could collaborate by adding information about business context, the KPIs needed, the expected SLOs, etc., to the data catalog. So, for example, if the use case is to generate insights based on year-on-year sales growth, then that use case information could go into catalog, along with who is going to use that data, how they are going to use, what key information they need, what they mean by those key information. And they could also enter details about how complete they want the information, or when they expect the information to be there, something around freshness, etc. Now, once this business context is there, Ms. Ginny, who is the data analyst, she's best placed now to identify the data characteristics required to cater for the use case. So she could collaborate by publishing the data design detail, like schema, or even SLOs or KPIs, technical details required to cater for the use case in data catalog. Once data characteristics are there in the data catalog, Ron, who is from application team, operation team, he has enough information about how the operation data is being used downstream for the analytical use case. This helps Ron to not only understand the data required, but also the SLOs and KPIs required, and thus they can agree on a data contract. So Ron could collaborate by starting to think about those SLOs and KPIs, and also a link to system catalog. So this system catalog is important because it would help application team understand what the published data means, what are the properties of published data. This will also help answer the biggest questions which organizations face or struggle with, which is data ownership. And this will ensure that application teams and other teams could collaborate and build data-driven solution. Now, Hermione from data platform team could build tools and features for other teams to use these patterns and publish metadata and SLOs. So using the tools provided by Hermione, data analysts like Ginny could build the analytical use case and publish the technical metadata, data uses pattern, SLOs, KPIs, business context, etc. to data catalog. The KPI and SLOs will ensure that a trust could be built around the data itself, and not only for analytics, but for the wider organization. Now, once the data catalog entry is created, the loop could be completed by Mr. Gringotts, who could provide feedback about the data catalog entry. And this will ensure that data catalog is the main tool in Hogwarts Financial to capture the feedback of the data product and maintain the life cycle of the data product.
Yeah. So that's awesome, Vishal. So if we see here, we are bringing data catalog as a primary tool in our workflow of building data, and we are building it from the starting, right? Starting of inception of the problem, identifying the data sources, updating the context, and bringing in operational teams and giving them the context and ownership by adding data contracts. And all this empowered by the tools built by the data platform team, and thus helping each character in our story to get rid of the hurdles in their golden path. So, however, we've spoken about all the characters except Mr. Dumbledore, our head of IT or data. It is important for them to measure the value of data catalog. We all have to prove, right, the value, even if we might know. So it all connects to how we started, right? Mr. Dumbledore wanted to make trustworthy and timely insights available to our business user, Mr. Gringotts, right? So he decided to start using metrics to measure trustworthiness, which is number of prioritized use case published, number of use cases with published SLOs, and percentage of SLOs met. And for timeliness, he agreed on using improvement of lead time from data discovery to value extraction. And they extended this by the user feedback in the catalog. Note that one thing, it's important that Vishal and I wanted to say that this is Mr. Dumbledore's metrics. But the key point here is that he connected it to the personas and the use case. And that's what we should, or you all should do. So that's almost our end of the story. So to finally summarize what we shared, it's okay. Enterprise may need multiple catalogs, the technical, accidental, system catalogs, based on their specific requirements. And these can all coexist, but the key here is to use them effectively and achieve return on investment, rather than simply just buying a shiny tool, acquiring a shiny tool. Understand the user needs, and then identify the persona. Find out what's their golden path. If the golden path, if there are hurdles in the golden path and data catalog is not resolving those hurdles, please don't invest into data catalog. But if it does, yes, invest into that.
And keep the catalogs relevant by shifting left. That is, involving users early in the process. And finally, use data catalog as a collaboration tool. Make it a first-class citizen rather than just thinking of it as a metadata management tool. So that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed the talk. Please let us know if you have any questions. I feel we
and
still
feedback also.
Yeah, still have time.